Thank you for calling the City of Grantville. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Please listen, as our menu options may have changed. For direction and hours of operation, press 1. For city clerk, utility billing, trash collection, or utility billing and billing collection, press 1. For trash collection and bulk pickup, press 2. For accounts payable, press 3. And for open records and the city clerk, press 4.
City of Grantville.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good.
May I ask who's speaking?
Robbie?
Hey, Miss Robbie. I was wondering if I could schedule an appointment with the city manager to sit down and just talk to him.
Sure. Hold on a second, okay?
Okay.
Good morning, Aunt Greasesaver. May I help you?
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good.
I was wondering if I could schedule an appointment with you to sit down and just ask you some questions and just I guess about some stuff. And if you got time now, we can just do it over the phone, so I don't have to come in or anything.
Well, who is this?
This is Russ with Georgia Transparency.
Okay. I got time right now.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, sir. I want to thank you for your time. And I couldn't.
You're a vet. You're a vet, aren't you?
I am, sir.
Who'd you serve with?
The Army.
Where?
Like my duty stations?
Yeah, well, I noticed if I got the right person, you were wearing a ball cap that said veteran, and I thought it said global terrorism, or I didn't really see what it said.
OEF. I'm a OEF and OIF veteran.
What? Tell me what those acronyms stand for.
Enduring Freedom, which is Afghanistan, and Iraqi Freedom, which is Iraq.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. I just got some general questions, just about some stuff that I wanted to ask you regarding the credit cards. That looks to be like excessive spending, and so I just was curious as to why is like dog and cat food purchased.
Well, because we have an animal shelter.
Okay, that comes off of the city funds.
Any purchases for the animal shelter come from city funds.
Okay, and the gun safe that was purchased for the chief of police office, Why did that come from city funds and not from the drug forfeiture fund?
I don't know where those funds came from off the top of my head, but I know I approved the purchase of a gun safe for the chief, which is located in the chief's office.
Okay. And then there was a $200 gift card that was purchased from a Dollar General store that's just labeled contract labor on the purchase order. Who did that gift card go to? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, but then again, like I say, I approve that purchase. All purchases are approved by the city manager unless they are in excess of $10,000 or an emergency purchase that is concurred in the purchase by either the mayor or the mayor pro tem if the mayor's not available.
Okay. What and then what about as far as some? It looks to be like some excessive hotel charges, and I was just curious because there was quite a few that was booked as as two adults and one bed. Either two occupants or two adults in one bed. I was just curious if it was a joint matter for joint training or what that whole ordeal is.
Well, I don't know, but again, all travel expenses, most of them are for the mayor or the city council members when they go to GMA or the mayor goes to other conferences. I don't know specifically what travel expenses you are talking about, but like I say, they're either for training for city employees or for the mayor and council members to attend conferences.
Okay, so the mayor does not have a city credit card. It's booked with the city clerk's card then, from my understanding.
No, the mayor has a city credit card. However, if the reservations are booked by the city clerk, she or the assistant city clerk will use the city clerk's credit card. There have been times when that credit card is maxed out and they have utilized my credit card for travel expenses. Again, if my credit card is used, I approve the use of it, and then I approve the travel expenses.
Okay.
All the travel expenses are normally booked by the city clerk for the mayor and council members.
Okay, and is all the training as far as lodging, the travel expenses, and all the online training, is all of that required by the state of Georgia?
That is a tough term to describe. Is it required by the state of Georgia? I would say it is required by the employee for competency in their job. Again, all travel expenses or training expenses are asked for through the city manager. In other words, if there's a training course that they feel that they should attend, then they request permission. Like the code enforcement officer has to attend certain trainings to keep up her certifications in code enforcement and animal control. The city clerk has to attend certain training courses to keep her certification up. The assistant city clerk the same.
Okay, when you mean by certification, when you mean by certification for the state, the question is all the training that they've been going to and receiving online, is it required by the state of Georgia for them to hold their position in City Hall?
I don't know of any state requirements for training, so I am unable to answer that question because I don't have a menu of state training requirements. I do not think the state requires any training for individual positions. It is a local matter as to what training is required for the individuals to hold their positions. And there again, the city manager makes that decision whether or not this training is appropriate for their position.
And since that goes, you just said it's the city manager's decision to approve their training or not, but you just stated that you don't have a menu by what's required or not. So are you just forking out city funds to send, employees to all this training? I'm just trying to figure out what's required by the state of Georgia for them to be able to substantiate employment with City Hall versus what's wanted, not needed. And you said that you do not have a menu, or you do not know. So if you do not know, why are we sending them to training if we don't know?
Well, I said I do not know what state requirements are for certain positions. I know that for them to hold their position within the city, that we require certain training. We don't require. We ask our people, our employees, to attend training for their positions. I can't compare that with, if you give me a state requirement for the training, I can tell you whether we approve that training. But you're putting out a state requirement for training. I said I do not have a menu of state requirements for training. I do not know of one. I've got 35 years in local government, and I don't know of state requirements. I know that if you want to be a certified code enforcement officer, you have to do certain training. I do know that if you want to be a certified city clerk, you have to do certain training.
Okay.
Now, those are made locally by the city manager.
Okay, I see what you're saying about that. My confusion is, as being a city manager, that you're not sure what training the employees need inside of City Hall, and which caveat.
I am, as city manager, I am very confident what the employees within the city, what kind of training they need. I do not, as I said, have a menu of state requirements, so I can't compare them. But as city manager, I am very confident of what training I want our employees to have so that they can competently fulfill their job requirements.
So what about a job position? What about training for a job position that doesn't exist?
Can you
Did I
give me
lose
some
you?
specifics?
Did I lose
No.
you?
No. Can you give me some specifics, Russell?
Oh, just training, I believe, for the clerk. Classes and training for, I guess, educational classes for a position that does not exist.
I do not know of any training that the city clerk has undergone for a position that doesn't exist.
I believe that was brought up at the last city council meeting.
Who brought that up?
I don't remember. I'd have to listen to the recording.
Well, I can tell you.
Well,
once
since
again,
and I'm asking because you stated that the city manager is the overall approving authority for all training. So I was just curious if
Correct.
someone's getting training for a position that does not exist.
no.
Okay. That's basically it. So no one's getting additional training for a position or future position that may or may not exist.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That settles that then. Also the your previous because you were employed with Archer, Florida, wasn't you?
Yeah, it sure was. August of 2012, I believe, till July or June of 2015.
Okay. Do you know your reasoning for leaving Archer and coming to Grantville?
Yes.
Do you want to share? Or?
A different opportunity, a better opportunity, chance to serve the citizens of Grantville.
Okay, so that was it. You just wanted to leave Archer and come to Grantville?
Well, a city manager, I started my career in local government in Georgia. So it was an opportunity to come back to Georgia.
Okay. Okay, so there was no, I guess you didn't, did you quit hastily in Archer, Florida?
No, I resigned and gave them 30 days notice.
Was there a state audit in Florida?
Not while I was there.
Okay. Okay. What about, I think there was another place you were a city manager as well in Florida. I can't remember the name of the city.
I was the city manager in Florida, Sanford, Florida. I was the city manager of Indian Rocks Beach. I was the general manager, which is similar to a city manager, of Sun and Lake of Sebring Improvement District, which, like I say, was similar to a city manager because it was one of two independent special districts that had residential housing.
Okay. Okay. Okay, and I got is the city of Grantville, no, where the city of Grantville, is it well first I just want to check on you, see how you're doing as well. Just like how your day's going. I'm sorry I didn't ask you that in the beginning. How your great Tuesday's going. It's getting about lunchtime for you.
Oh, that doesn't matter. I'm here all the time. I take lunch at my desk.
That's cool. That's good. So, is the city of Grantville responsible for the sewage system that's on city sewage?
Absolutely.
And the since the city of Grantville is responsible for the city sewage on dealing with that, are any of the residents going to get repaid their money that they had to personally spend to pump city sewage lines?
No one had to pump city sewer lines. You will look on our website, you will see the responsibilities for the customer for city sewer. The customer is responsible for the service line up to the tap. The tap is into the city main. The city is responsible for keeping the mains open and flowing, so she flows downhill.
Okay, what if someone spent money to pump a city sewage line past the main?
I'm not aware of anyone that
No, I'm just saying.
customer is not authorized to access our main.
I'm just saying as a just future reference. If that happened, I mean, would that resident be reimbursed whatever money they were out of?
No.
Okay, so
The city would be responsible for the main. The customer would be responsible for notifying the city of a sewer backup. The city would be responsible for any repairs or replacement on the city main. However, no customer is reimbursed for clogs in their service line, because that is a customer responsibility.
okay,
There's two different things: service lines and main sewer line. City's responsible for the main sewer line. Customer is responsible for their service line up to the tap.
okay, I see what you're saying about that. And then moving on with with the light bill, do we know why some residents have a $700 or $800 power bill, utility bill?
No, I don't.
Is that
But
something
let me
maybe
explain to
is
you.
that something maybe the city ought to look into, because that does seem really excessive.
Well, certainly does to me. If I had a electric bill that I considered excessive, I certainly would go to the provider and ask them why. Your electric bill is composed of two components. One is the service availability charge. That is a fixed charge charged to each account. The second portion of the bill is a consumption charge. That is controlled by the customer. So if I want to run my air conditioner at 65 degrees, that will raise my consumption. Now, I should mention too, there's tax on that, on the bill. But the two main components are the service availability charge, which is fixed, which helps us maintain the system, and two, the consumption charge. The city does not control the consumption charge. So if you have a high consumption charge, you may have a challenge. Your heat pump, if that's what you're using, may need replacing. I don't know, but the city city does not control the consumption charge.
What about a faulty meter?
If the meter is in fact faulty, the city will replace it and credit the account for the erroneous charge. But the city makes those determinations, not the customer.
So how would the customer
And we
do
do that.
Would the customer report that they think their meter's faulty, then y'all come check it out?
Correct. We look back, we have utility billing histories normally of clients. We will look back over their history, usage of the consumption of a similar month in a previous year or something. Like I know I got a question from a resident who had a high utility bill, their consumption of electric, and upon research, we found that it was not a faulty meter. The consumption was right in line with the previous year.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. What do you, I guess you said you eat at your desk. Like, what are you having for lunch today? I'm just curious.
I'm having 2 meatloaf sandwiches and potato salad
That sounds
that my
good,
wife
actually.
has made for me. Well, it does.
That
You
does
want to
sound
share? I'll be willing to share.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate it. No, thank you for the generosity. I really do appreciate it. So we don't know. I guess is there any way that we can look into getting what's like what's is state requirements for training versus what is Grantville requirements?
Again, Russell, I think that would be an exercise in futility unless you could give me specific positions, and then I can look at it. Like, we get a new employee, and he's working in water. I would like all our city employees who work in the water area, utilities department, to get their Class 1 water license. I know those requirements. I have the books. Are they state required? No. A person can work on your distribution line and not have that license. However, if I have an employee who says, "Sir, I'd like to train for my Class 1 water license," would I allow that? Yes, sir, I would.
So is there any checks and balances for like a new employee comes in and just like, I want all this training, then he's just granted all this training, and then is there like a statute that they have to be there for a certain amount of time before they start receiving that additional training?
No, there's not a statute, but before we would send them to training, they would sign a training agreement, and normally we ask them to stay for 3 years or reimburse the city for their expenses of training.
Okay, then I guess for the purchase orders and the receipts, as far as the hotels go, how come some of them are extremely detailed with reservations and everything, and then it's probably about half and half, and the others are just hotels booked in a comfort a confirmation booking page. There's no receipt. There's no itemized receipt from the hotel at checkout.
That I don't know. But when I approve the expenses, I normally have those receipts, especially for the mayor and council members. Those are the only ones that I can think of that may have left without a receipt.
And do we know, I guess for the ones I'm talking about with those are the ones that are, majority of them are booked with 2 adults in one room. And there's no names or anything.
I can't remember anyone. Well, I can remember one individual, that was council member Ruby Hines, who went to a GMA conference, and her husband drove her to that. So, that's been a while back. So there'd be 2 people, man and wife, and I believe there was a roll-away bed that was put in that room for her daughter.
Okay.
Who is also a veteran, by the way.
Okay.
Ruby Hines' daughter is a retired colonel from the Air Force.
Oh, okay. And I only got a couple of more questions. I'll let you go and get to your lunch. Does the city use the credit card to purchase Visa gift cards from like dollar stores or whatever?
We have, with my permission.
And what was that card for?
I don't know. What does the receipt say?
I'm seeing if you remember or not, because there's nothing. It was just if you approved a purchase for a $200 gift card purchase from a Dollar General store with no description of anything of who it's going to. I was just curious as to why that got approved.
Well, I can't recall that one, but again, if I approved it at that time that I approved it, I knew what it was for.
Okay, and then do y'all purchase Visa gift cards from Amazon?
We did.
Okay, why wasn't that one purchased from Amazon and rather than purchased from the Dollar General store?
I don't know.
Okay, and there was what about 5 $100 Visa gift cards that was attention to Joan Henry?
I approved them.
What were those for?
I don't remember specifically right now.
Oh, okay. So we, from what I'm gathering, is that we approve stuff and don't really know what it is.
No, you don't gather that. At the time I sign the purchase order, I know what the purchase is for. I do not recall specifically right now what the purchase was for. But when I sign the purchase order, I know specifically what the purchase is for. However, I sign numerous purchase orders, and I do not have instant recall of each and every one at this time of your question.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up, sir. I'm really glad you brought that up, that you sign all purchase orders and you know exactly what it is. So
correct.
Okay, so for example, for the dollar store $200 gift card, it's just labeled as contract labor. And at that time...
That's exactly what it was for then.
Then
You
which,
didn't tell me that.
what
You
contractor?
didn't tell me that. Contract labor.
What
My
contract?
goodness. You got that.
What contract?
Contract labor is a part of our budget process. So if some individual does something for us, we would pay for it. And we may have paid for it with a gift card.
Then which contractor did work for y'all for that particular gift card?
I don't know.
I
Right
know.
off the top of my head.
We don't know because all it says is contract labor. It could be for anything. Everything else, there's a lot of purchase orders. See, I'm trying to figure out why purchase orders, some of them are extremely descriptive. They itemize every single thing out. And we got some purchase orders that are just vague, that doesn't have any information on it. So I'm trying to figure out the difference of the standard of what needs to go, like what y'all put on a purchase order, because everything's getting approved. There's some stuff that's itemized, and there's some stuff, for example, that $200 gift card. We don't know what contractor it went to. Which contractor did it go to? Who, what business, what person, what did the person do for the city?
You're absolutely right. We should be more detailed on our purchase orders. So if someone comes back 3 years from now and wants to know what the contractor's name is, we know it's on the purchase order. I can't tell you that, Russell. I'd love to tell you that. However, I signed many purchase orders. At the time I signed them, I am aware of what it is for.
But do you see how that looks right now?
Pardon me?
Do you see how that looks right now, though?
No.
I don't expect you to remember what it was for right off the top of your head. If you sign, if you get those a bunch a day,
you expect it to be written on there, and you're right. It should have been, but it wasn't. So I can't fix it for you. And you say, how does it look? Well, I tell you, it looks like the city manager approved a purchase order that 3 years later says contract labor, and we don't know who the contractor was.
Oh, sir, this was last
But
year.
I can tell you, last year, okay.
This was last year.
Could have been 2 months ago.
So you're telling me we got more of these for the previous years?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're correct. It should be more detailed.
No, I'm asking is that
I don't
do
have
you see?
instant recall.
I'm asking you, do you see how that looks though? Somebody else looking at it, going, "Oh wow, who got this gift card? Somebody pocketed this in the city. All the other gift cards are ordered from Amazon. Why is this one ordered from the Dollar General store? Bought from the Dollar General store? And with no description, there's just a receipt. It doesn't tell you. It just says contract labor. We don't know who's doing it. So, do you see how that looks though?
I again will tell you, I approved it. I knew what I was approving when I approved it. You may think it looks like a subterfuge and everything, but I can't tell you that. I can't describe how you want it to look. I am telling you that, yes, you're correct. It should have been more detailed. But I am telling you that when I approved it, I knew what it was for.
Then why did you approve it without it being in more detail like the others, like some of the other purchase orders?
Because I had information at that time, albeit not written, what it was for. If you're trying to say something, there was a subterfuge or anything, go ahead. That's fine. However, please remember and say that it was approved by the city manager.
Anything can get approved.
It lacks, pardon me?
anything can get approved. I mean, you just said you approve everything.
Oh, I don't say that now.
You just said earlier you approve. You're the approver of the purchase orders for the city.
Yes, that's right. And you're saying anything can get approved, and I disagree with that statement. You're saying that I will approve anything. I disagree with that statement.
You said you approve all purchase orders, though. Isn't that anything?
No, it's all purchase orders. And when I approve the purchase order, I know what it's for. And it's for a city-related thing. Be it material, supplies, contract labor, whatever. I am aware of the reason for the purchase. So, I do not approve things that I do not have a reason to purchase.
Don't you think that the citizens should be aware? If you're aware, that makes that's irrelevant. If you're only aware, that the citizens need to be aware what that $200 was for.
Well, I don't know.
So you don't know if the citizens need to be aware of what spending's going on?
No, I'm saying I don't know that they need to be aware of that specific purchase, but they should know that it was approved by the city manager, who is very cognizant of spending taxpayer monies for purchases.
Okay, so being cognizant of spending taxpayer money for purchases, then at the time you knew. However, you can't justify to the public what that charge was for, nor do you have a menu to justify what state requirements are for training or anything. So I'm just telling you how I'm looking at it, is that a purchase order comes across your desk and you just sign it.
I'm saying that when I sign purchase orders, I am aware of what they are. There is no state requirement for the mayor and the council members to travel, to attend conferences. There is no state requirement. However, we allow them to go for their educational benefit.
And that's perfectly fine. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Oh,
stuff,
no, whoa. Don't tell me what's perfectly fine. There's no state requirement. You're saying city employees need a state requirement.
No, I didn't say they need a state requirement. I said you don't know what the state requirements are for positions to be for certain positions that are inside of City Hall. No, I'm not saying that you can send however many people you want to training. Is what I'm saying is taking a step back and looking at it. It looks like it's excessive training. It's excessive spending. And in the city council meeting a week or two ago, it was mentioned, the statement was made, why are we sending city clerks to training that there's no position for?
And what was my answer?
I don't remember. I got to listen to the audio.
Well, listen to the audio. I think you will be aware of it.
Should you know your answer better than me, though?
Yeah, I know. It's succession training.
For a position that does not exist?
What?
Is it for a position?
Succession training. Are you aware of what that word succession training means?
Oh, yeah. I'm aware. You're telling me what training it was for, but previously, in this conversation, you told me you had no recollection of it.
Well, now that you're bringing it up, you didn't mention who it was before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you didn't mention who it was for. That was exactly my point. You throw out generalities, but then you get specific. Now, you said the city clerk. That was asked by the mayor. And I said succession training. GMA, Georgia Municipal Association, holds seminars. Training.
And that succession training.
Succession training.
And that succession training. What?
They hold seminars on succession training. They want our mayor and council members and city managers to go to their seminar to learn about succession training.
What about city clerks?
No,
Then why did she go?
they, what?
Then why did she
Why
go to
did
that
the
training?
city clerk? No, she didn't go to succession training. Those are seminars that are held for elected officials, city managers, to learn about succession training. I've been there, done that. And I think it's important in the city of Grantville that we do succession planning. In other words, if someone croaks, that we have someone that has at least some familiarity with their position so they can move right in.
Let me just ask.
Any business has succession planning.
Let me just ask the
They don't have
question directly.
succession planning. They plan to fail.
Let me just ask the question directly then. Was the city clerk sent to any training for a job position that does not exist in City Hall?
No.
For a position?
No.
Okay, that alleviates that then. We'll okay, I believe that's all. What did you say you're having for lunch
Okay.
again?
2 pumpernickel and meatloaf sandwiches and potato salad.
Oh, I thought it was just meatloaf sandwiches.
Well, with pumpernickel bread.
Ah, okay. Alrighty, cool beans. And alrighty, I appreciate your time.
You're not gonna join me for lunch? I've got 2 sandwiches. I'll share.
Oh no, sir, I'm good. I really appreciate it. I wish I could. I got a lot of other stuff to do though. I'm actually pretty busy. I really am.
I'm sure you are. Okay, my friend.
Alrighty, sir. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Al.